First is just the convergence of fire weather circumstances that allowed these really big fires to happen at this time. We have a dry fall and dry early winter, very little precipitation. We have an extreme Santa Ana wind event. Santa Ana winds are very powerful normally, but this is an extreme one where we have wind gusts, over 80 miles an hour, up to 100 miles per hour. And we have extremely dry air. The relative humidity is in the single digits. So you've got these dry winds coming at enormous velocities over the mountains from the Mojave Desert, driving these fires. In circumstances like that, you simply can't stop the flames. The firefighters, it's not possible, and it's not reasonable of us to expect them to do that. So they've been focusing on saving lives and trying to get people and their animals safely evacuated. The second is that our wildland fire policies in this country at the state and federal level have really been focused on wildlands, out there, trying to remove vegetation, remove shrubs, remove trees, and thinking that that's somehow going to stop a fire from reaching towns. And that strategy has failed, especially in the era of the climate crisis. These fires are weather driven and wind driven, and they're going right through any areas where vegetation removal happened. And on top of that, most of those policies are focused in forests, and these communities are nowhere near forests. And so we have a mismatch between where our attention and our resources and the funding is going, and the communities that are vulnerable. And a lot of communities have a false sense of security, thinking that, well, firefighters will help them, or the fire problem is out there somewhere. And the communities haven't been given the support and the technical assistance that they need, and the information they need to know how at risk they are and what they can do about it. These are not debatable points. The things that actually do keep people safe, that do prevent homes from burning. The science, there's not a debate in the scientific community about this. There's unanimity. They're pretty simple things. We're just not really spending much money on them. We're not focusing on them. Policymakers are focusing on other things, and that needs to
Okay.
change. So, number one, home hardening, making homes themselves more fireproof. Simple things like getting dry leaves off the roofs, putting on rain gutters so dry leaves don't accumulate in the rain gutters. That matters because most homes burn from embers driven by the winds far in advance of the flames. Embers land on the roof, ignite the dry leaves. Um, Exterior vents like attic vents, get rid of those old coarse wire mesh vents from the 1970s, 1980s,
All right.
and replace them with a fine wire mesh, 1/8 inch, 1/16 inch wire mesh that'll prevent the embers from coming into the attic.
Jelajahi cara baru mendapatkan informasi. Download Metro TV Extend sekarang.